Welcome to the Bleav Network's Best of Bleav Hour on Stadium. Do you believe?
We're back. Fisher, Snacks, Kreider, Tassopoulos is sick, unfortunately. Best of Bleav, the charity stripe on Stadium. First show without Toss.
Is it?
Yeah, it's the first Best of Bleav.
You guys have definitely done shows without me.
2. 3 maybe.
At least.
Well, not all time, but Best of Bleav. We're missing Toss today. He's got a little case of bronchitis. Can't talk, so he would be Silent Bob in this situation, which honestly I feel like he'd be really good at.
Yeah, the new houses.
Yeah, he got Newhoused a little bit. An inside joke for the people out there that we will reveal at the end of the show. Really exciting times as football has come to a close. Just enough football this year. I think now that the dust has settled on the Super Bowl, which we'll kick to a clip of Mike Gill believing Eagles in just a hot second, I don't know how I feel about the extra game. I think it was a lot of football. I know beggars can't be choosers, but sometimes too much is not a good thing.
You just said just enough football. Now you're saying it's too much.
Yeah, it was just enough, and I think overall now I'm looking back, it's too much.
What does the extra game really mean?
It just means I was burnt out by the end of it.
I mean, look, it's literally one extra week. I really don't think it made a big difference on my mental strain.
I don't think
we were still.
I think there was bigger fish to fry in the world than the extra week of football. I just felt it was a lot.
I like it.
I mean, football is
the
awesome.
only thing that I would say is that, like, obviously the deeper you go, the more teams want to start resting players, right?
Okay.
Like, that week is meaningless to certain teams. And I think the NFL needs to do a better job of scheduling games that are important in those later weeks rather than guys taking time off.
You always play a division rival. I actually felt the games themselves in the last week of the regular season were really good. But by the time I got to Super Bowl, again, this could be us going down there as well and experiencing the whole radio row and covering it all week. I was a bit exhausted of the season.
So, okay, you play division rival. Why doesn't it be something like the number 1 team in the division plays the number 2 team in the division from the year prior at the last week? So it could potentially mean the division for that week.
Oh, so like Bengals Chiefs.
Right.
Okay.
No, not Bengals Chiefs. It'd be like Bengals Ravens, right?
Oh,
first
so
place, second place. You automatically play that team because obviously we don't know who's playing what weeks right now in the season. They don't have the whole full schedule. You just have the matchups. But the one lock for sure gets locked in with
the 1 versus 2.
Right, and the home team being the 1.
Oh, I like that idea.
Right, because if it like means a lot the last week of the season, then there you go. Then you earned it for the season before.
Re-energized.
Right.
Like an extra cup of Phil's coffee, who's not a sponsor, but we drink it every day. So
yeah, we do know the family, though.
Shout out to their family, honestly, big time. Also, shout out to Mike Gill. Covered the Eagles valiantly for us, Bleav in Eagles. So check this clip out as he talks about the Super Bowl.
In the first half, we talk about Philadelphia's defense. Look, they gave up 7 points in the first half, their defense. The defense in reality gave up 24 points. They gave up the fumble recovery, that's 7, and then the punt return. I mean, what's the defense going to do there? To give them the ball at the 5-yard line. So 14 points come off the board from the defense. The defense gave up 24. Philadelphia defense, while it didn't play great, kind of played well enough to win that game. The Eagles were in the Super Bowl 5 years ago, and the style of that game was similar. Their defense did not play great. Their defense made a play when they needed it the most. They never got that play in this game. They never got the fumble. They never got the interception. And that's something they relied on for 20 games this year. Getting that fumble, getting that interception, getting that sack. It never happened. And that's why they didn't win the Super Bowl, because the script that they followed to get here, they didn't get to follow this time. And you don't get to dictate the terms of the script, whether Arian Foster wants to believe there's a script or not. You don't get to dictate the terms of the script. The script all season, you got the sack, you got the interception, you got the fumble. They made a mistake. There was a penalty. It never happened in this game. And John Gannon waited and waited and waited, and it never came.
You felt, Nick, that the Eagles can get back. Then we kind of reassessed and discussed. They lose both coordinators. There's going to be some free agents. But I also feel with people saying that's too much are underestimating Jalen Hurts and his ability not only to, win football games like we saw in college, now we've seen in the pros, but how he's gotten incrementally better year after year.
2 losses last season.
Yeah.
Technically this season. Super Bowl and then 1 regular season. The other 2 losses that they had, he wasn't even playing. So at this point in his career, he's put himself in a really good position to have a nice winning percentage and to get a lot of great in-game experience. He's made it pretty far, in his 3rd season in the NFL. I think that he's got a lot of good things going for him, and he's really improved every year as a quarterback. There was always the knock on him not being able to complete passes and how his game would translate to the NFL. Is he just a running quarterback? Yeah, he's a running quarterback, but he's improved on his accuracy immensely in these last couple of years. And look, I'm not going to be surprised if he's in the conversation to be an MVP for the next 3, 4, 5 seasons. And as long as they have him, especially right now in his rookie contract, they're still going to be a favorite.
They can make moves in the offseason. They have not only their first-round pick, obviously, but the first-round pick of the Saints, which is a top 10 pick. So they are losing pieces, but they are in prime position to retool. So I'm with you. I think the Eagles are a great organization and have at least as good a shot as anybody to get back to the NFC title game and maybe beyond. Speaking of beyond, to infinity and beyond, we're going to break. We'll be back in just a hot second. Please, we're begging you, do not go anywhere. Fisher, Snacks, Kreider, the charity stripe, best to Bleav right here on Stadium.
Hang tight. We'll be right back in just a second with some more great Bleav content on Stadium.